He has reacted to the fact that a number of opposition parties have come forward and said that they are boycotting Sunday's event. He has said that the government requested them to be there, but they will act according to their own sentiments. Let's play out what he had to say, then we'll connect with our reporters for more.
हमने तो भारत सरकार ने सबको विनंती किया है कि आप उपस्थित रहिए, सब अपनी अपनी भावना के अनुसार करेंगे। हमने तो भारत सरकार ने सबको विनंती किया है कि आप उपस्थित रहिए, सब अपनी अपनी भावना के अनुसार करेंगे।
Balavi, we heard right now from the Home Minister. I want to now take to you a question that our audiences are asking quite a bit online. In terms of ceremonial procedures, why did the BJP not choose to invite both the President and the Prime Minister together? Is that not something that is done historically?
No, that's not correct. The President is, of course, very much invited. I mean, see, all of us who cover Parliament also know this. See, how it works is that whenever there is a new Parliament session, and by new Parliament session, I mean a new budget session, for example, or a monsoon session, it's always addressed by the President of India. So the President of India, if you notice, comes in that cavalcade from Rashtrapati Bhavan to the Parliament building and then holds a joint session which addresses MPs from both Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. Because the President is the custodian of the constitution, is also the head of the nation, and therefore that power, for example the power to prorogue, convene a parliament session, rests with the President of India. So when the speaker or the vice president who's also the chairperson of Rajya Sabha say, okay, the house is adjourned sine die, it doesn't become notified till it is notified by the President of India, who says, okay, the house stands hereby adjourned or prorogued. So that's the way it is done. That's the constitution. Our constitution enshrines that. This is the point which is being raised by the opposition parties, that if this is the procedure, then why is it in a new parliament building, which means the operations of parliament democracy will now shift out of the old parliament building to this new parliament building, and therefore the President should be there. Clearly, if the Prime Minister is going to be inaugurating, the insinuation or the suggestion is that the President of India is unlikely to be there. He's going to be flanked, of course, by the Parliamentary Affairs Ministers and, more importantly, by the Speaker. The chairperson of Rajya Sabha, which is the Vice President, is away on a tour. So there is no clarification of whether Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar is also going to be present at that ceremony on Sunday. This is the point which is being raised by the opposition, that the President prorogues, convenes the Parliament sessions. The President is one who addresses joint session and speaks on behalf of the government. Therefore, it's a fit case why the President should also be there for the inauguration.
Okay. And Balavi, I just want to understand from you the number of opposition parties that have come forward, right from the TMC to the Congress to the Aam Aadmi Party. Have any of them announced alternate plans for Sunday? Are we going to see any kinds of protests, or are they just going to be sitting out the ceremonial proceedings?
No clarity on that yet. Remember, the Parliament is not in session. It's just a brief function which begins at around 7 a.m., likely to end by around 1 p.m. maximum. So it's not that they're going to be here in station. I think they've made their point of protest, and that protest, of course, is the opposition to the inauguration by the Prime Minister. So they're going to be boycotting the proceedings. As I said, I mean, the invites are being printed. They're going to be passed on. Officially speaking, when I spoke to many of these leaders, even the Congress party, they said we haven't got the invite yet. So what happens is, when they get that invite, and they've made it very clear in that letter, they're not going to be a part of the inauguration. As of now, no kind of street protests have been planned by them.
Pallavi, just stay with us, please. We're going to move on to